Legends, how's everybody doing? Let's go. Let's analyze the situation here for the price of a Bitcoin altogether, because it is possible that we are going to lower prices, guys. However, if we do hit this level that we are going to talk about on the stream, it's going to be looking pretty damn bullish, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button if you do enjoy the content. And let's dive in right away into the comment section first of all, guys, okay? Let's go. Let's see what's going on here. Let's put a bit of background music as always. Get that nice light techno house, I would say, in the background. And let's go right away and say hello to the beautiful community, okay? We've got some stuff ready here for you. Of course, we'll be doing some higher time frame analysis. Nothing much has changed based on the higher time frame. And we'll be taking a look at the lower time frame. That's where it's getting really interesting, guys, here to kind of get into the next possible probability move. Is the movement down just a correction? Have we finished the correction and we go to all-time high in the next coming days? Or do we have some more pullbacks here to happen, right, throughout the next couple of weeks, potentially? So buy the dip, sell the dead cat bounce, right? We'll be discussing that, guys. If the bears want to take control here, this is the level. This is the level to reject. I think everybody that has a basic knowledge of Elliott wave theory can understand, right? Is this a 3-wave structure or is it going to be a 5-wave structure, right? And we have that movement to the downside and this bounce not overlapping that pivot low from yesterday and literally at the 50% Fibonacci. So it's like, can the people make this a wave 4, right? 3-wave move to the upside. If you want to try and catch the high, it's literally where we have been right over here. There's lots of shorts entering into the market. When you do take a look at Bybit order flow or look at the CVD divergence, right, it's going to give you that idea that lots of shorts are entering the market at the moment, which is not ideally what you want to see. So, it's kind of a very easy, this is going to be a lower high. And let's all short together and make a huge amount of gains, and our take profit's going to be at the low, right? You do not want to see that on the CVD. We're creating insane bullish CVD divergence in this uptrend, which is not good. You want to see a bunch of longs entering here. That's good, right? You want to see CVD absolutely spiking up instead of spiking down. So there is a good chance here, guys, that the short traders could get trapped. Okay, they could get trapped here in this zone and market just continues pumping. But let's just say that the bears have a chance right over here to actually make this movement to the downside a potential impulse, because one more low eventually would create that very solid 5-wave move down, big volume in the middle, right? Super easy textbook kind of 5-wave structure to the downside, right? That would be absolutely epic for the bears, I mean, right? So there, the main problem is right now is there's too many shorts entering the market, right? It's like, just on Bybit in the last few hours, there's over 50 million short positions just in 2 hours. 50 million shorts, right, with leverage in this zone. You need a little bit more power here eventually for this to roll over. So it's something that, you are skeptical. Look no further. If you are looking for an impulsive move down here as a wave 4 and you want to form your wave 5 later on here throughout the next coming hours, your invalidation is literally the low here, right? Because you don't want to overlap this pivot. The moment you overlap this pivot, it's going to be high probability that this is a 3-wave corrective structure. And whatever happens in this zone later on, it doesn't matter if you do actually claim the lows later. What you would be looking at is to hit new all-time highs in the next, give or take 1 to 2 weeks. So high probability, bullish confirmation as per the thumbnail, guys, is literally hitting this level at 123.4K. As you do get to this zone, it increases the probability, of course, to hit all-time high, and that this is very likely a 3-wave corrective structure. Of course, the bearish case scenario would be a multiple 1-2, right? 1-2, 1-2, right? And then it absolutely nukes. However, this second 1 and 2 is extremely more powerful, almost hit the 1.618 extension here from the wave, this movement down. So it's low probability that this would be a second 1-2 just to create a third wave later on in the next coming days. So yeah, if we do get to 123.4K, it's in your best interest to actually look for longs, okay? In your best interest to really analyze the movements throughout the next, coming hours, couple of days, to look for long positions, as you do realize that there will be high probability in taking out that all-time high, right? When we look at the probability game here, just as we were talking about in the last few weeks, was it's highly likely that all-time high is going to be hit in the next coming weeks. When we were trading here, when we were trading here, when we were trading here, it doesn't really matter, right? The overall question, of course, will we take out the lows? I was very much in favor, as you do know, of potentially creating a double zigzag here. It would have been nice, but that did not happen. So the probabilities were higher to take out all-time high, right? Because this is a three-wave corrective structure. There was no way of looking at a contracting diagonal in this zone or any type of diagonal or any five-wave impulse down, which eventually gave you the high probability in taking out the highs. So what we're looking at here on the lower time frame is something very similar, right? Where we can confirm that the movement down from all-time high is likely a corrective structure, and at some point later on, even though a double zigzag is an option here, that we are looking for new all-time highs as soon as we hit above 123.4K, which is going to be similar to this, right? Whatever happens here, guys, even if we take out the low, we are looking for new all-time highs. So here, it only will be on the lower time frame, right? On the lower time frame, we will understand that if you do get above 123.4K, you are likely looking at this to be some kind of a three-wave corrective structure. And that's whatever happens later on is going to be part of that correction. So in this live stream, we are going to figure out, label the different scenarios that could happen, to then, look for different opportunities, of course, to finally take out all-time high again, right? I think, let me know in the comment section, are you, in shorts? Are you more interested in shorts? Are you longing the dip, right? Maybe some people aggressively longed, this consolidation. Let me know in the comment section, guys. I'll go through you guys right now in the next coming minutes. We'll do a little bit of a higher time frame and then zoom in on the lower time frame to figure out where those opportunities lie regarding possible trading scenarios. I have to say, guys, I got a warning on yesterday, almost got a strike from YouTube, okay? Este vídeo se ha retirado porque infringía los términos del servicio de YouTube. This basically means that, something happened yesterday, and apparently it had to do with the 500 like thing. I can't actually say anything about that because YouTube will take the video down. Okay, so yeah, I almost got a strike yesterday, guys, and it was, I think it had to do because of the 500 likes, right? Let's get 500 likes because, and apparently you can't do any of that by the looks of things. The video just got down from YouTube yesterday, so we'll be a little bit careful. If we do get to 500 likes, we eventually will do what we want to do, and I'll just let you know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, guys. Need to be careful here with the wording. Anyway, let's go through the comment section and say hello to the community. Eric Traven says, I don't short on October, says Eric. Very, very true, right? Very true. We'll have a bullish confirmation if we do hit 123.4K, okay? It's going to be looking pretty damn good. We'll talk about the different scenarios on Bitcoin, of course, most importantly, to try and figure out, what we need to see to be confident, right, in a possible high probability trading setup. We'll kind of build something, okay, and then we'll go through Ethereum, high probability that we are going to be taking out all-time high at some point in the near future, right? High probability, just because you formed a three-wave move down and we've had an epic bounce here, I think almost taking out this high. So it's very, very high probability that Ethereum, with a larger pullback, or this being the end of the pullback, that we are likely going to be taking out all-time high in the near future. there is still a chance for Ethereum. I would actually prefer, low probability at this point, okay, that we are going to take out 3,800, guys, I have to say. Because if we are looking for a sideways corrective structure here, a double zigzag, it has a low probability. Where you have a zigzag, then you form your X wave, whatever happens in this zone. For a double zigzag, if you get above the 70% Fibonacci from the start of the three-wave structure to the downside, it's low probability, okay, that you are likely going to take out this low. And what you're looking for here is more of a sideways corrective structure, or that this has been the end of the ABC and this is an impulsive move. I think it's going to be pretty damn clear for Ethereum that, any pullbacks in this zone, guys, I'm not sure. Make sure to follow the strategy that you're using with risk management. But, this zone becomes extremely interesting to basically participate till Ethereum gets to all-time high, because that's the highest probability. These are the kind of movements that you want to see for a confirmation of high probability. Three-wave move to the downside. You're reclaiming here the value level of this entire zone of the last few months, right? You got above the point of control and the value area low. This is like, we're getting resistance at value area high here just in the last 2 days, getting this rejection of, I don't know how much percentage this was on Ethereum, but about over 6% of a drop in the last 24 hours. And this retracement is becoming extremely good to start thinking of getting positioned, okay? Because with the information that we have on Ethereum, hear me out, guys, hear me out. There is low probability that Ethereum does get down to 3,800, okay? Low probability. So there's higher probability, based on my understanding here, that we, high probability that we take out all-time high, low probability that we take out the lows here. And that has to do with this three-wave move down, big rally hitting above the 70% Fibonacci, which is extremely decreasing the probabilities for a possible double zigzag, okay? Well, that means that what you're likely forming here is the end of a ABC movement. You've had your first impulsive move to the upside, and most commonly for a wave 2, in this case, if this were to be wave 1, that we had a massive rally here, wave 2 usually retraces to around about 50% golden pocket zone, okay? Can it hit the 382 and get a bounce from there? Yes, it can. Of course it can, but it's less probable, right? Usually a wave 2 gets at least to the 50% most of the times, right? This is technical analysis. It's not, it's not certain that we need to hit that level and bounce, right? So 50%, and the golden pocket of the rally that we had throughout the last 2 weeks is literally at the value area low and the point of control. I mean, this is a great area. I'm not sure if we will drop another couple of $100 here on Ethereum. It would be ideal to get positioned on lower levels, right? And Ethereum looks extremely sexy. It looks so good. And this is a swing trade eventually, right? This ain't a little scalp of a movement of 1-2%. You're literally looking for, a rally all the way up to all-time high, which from current price levels, it is a 10% move plus, right? And obviously we would be expecting that breakout from all-time high, very, very likely. It could swing failure pattern in the short term, but I am looking here for a new wave to get developed. The most bullish case scenario on Ethereum is that this is a wave 1 and you're literally forming your wave 2 here throughout this dump. Maybe it's the first leg down in your A wave. You're going to form a shallow B wave here possibly, right? And then get another leg down. That would be ideal to really look for the strongest support zone on Ethereum, which is in between 50% and golden pocket, which is your common wave 2 zone. And it's also the point of control and value area low of the trading area of the last 2-3 months, right? So very good area without a doubt. A low probability that we claim this low. Okay, I would say that the low is in on Ethereum, and all-time high is expected. All-time high eventually is expected based on the structure that we have developed throughout the last few weeks. Okay, so just take that into consideration. Well, you know that we try and look for opportunities and look for the probability scenarios, low probability and coming down to 3,800, high probability that all-time high will be hit likely in the next, give or take, few weeks, right? We can't say tomorrow, right? We'll give or take in 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, and this zone becomes incredibly interesting eventually, right, for that fake out beneath point of control and value area low. Okay, I wouldn't like to see 4-hourly candle closes or a daily candle close beneath this zone, but we'll have to analyze very carefully, right? So yeah, only we've had a first leg down here, only one leg to the downside. I would prefer to see some kind of a 3-waver, right, and then consider getting into some positions here. Okay, that's my strategy. You follow you, right? But Ethereum is looking extremely interesting, of course, when we do go to the higher time frame and we analyze the low of Ethereum created here in April. What we are expecting is for this to be your first initial wave, then the third wave got developed. The main reason why I shorted here, because I was seeing a 5-wave move up. Unlikely that we break out all-time high with this massive leg that we had throughout July and part of August. I was like, a double top here is very, very likely from all-time high of 2021. And that's, I did get into a very successful short position here on Ethereum last month. So the idea is what we're labeling here on Ethereum is a wave 4. Okay, formation of the wave 4 that potentially is in. Okay, potentially is in here. There is the possibility that wave 4 is in here, and we're already starting the wave 5 that could go, $5,000, $6,000 in the next, give or take 1 to 2 months. However, the possibility of extending this wave 4, okay, is definitely there. And I'll explain why. The main reason why that we could extend this wave 4 on Ethereum is because this movement to the downside could be a 3-wave structure. Well, I mean, it is a 3-wave structure. There's no discussion in that. However, what could be forming is a sideways 𝗬XY, and it can get a little bit volatile and it can get a little bit confusing because inside of a Y wave, you can get some pretty nasty fake out volatility, because the highest probability sideways 𝗬XY is forming a flat in a Y. That's your first highest probability option, which would be a movement down here. You get the price action that fakes out the highs locally, okay, gets a crash down to sweep up the lows that has been formed to then rally later on. Okay, and this is a classic trap trader situation, because if you roll down from here, you're going to see your basic favorite analyst out there that we're forming an inverted head and shoulder, which is definitely possible, because this could be the low and this could be your wave 1, wave 2, and you smash out here, right? And you actually form that inverted head and shoulder. It's one scenario. This is why looking for longs here at the 4,200 to 4,300 zone is very, very interesting, right? 4,200 area is very, very interesting, as we do have the value area low and the point of control. Regardless, if you come back down later on, I would just have to accept that I'm getting stopped out at break even, and obviously look for the swing failure pattern, double bottom situation here, because you could be forming a flat. You get lots of longs entering here on the breakout, expecting all-time high, right? And then you come down to sweep up the lows. It's very, very common sideways 𝗬XY where you form, a flat, right? You take the highs, take the lows, and then you go up, right? It's kind of a liquidity sweep. And this is a very, very interesting scenario, which has the highest probability when we consider a sideways WXY to form a flat in your Y wave. So yeah, I mean, you get the deal, right? This happens a lot. A few weeks ago, I remained in my short position with, I think it was about 20% of the short. I got a very epic short position. It's already out, of course. It's stopped out with this movement here at break even because I added to the position. But I maintained in that short because I was in favor of the potential of forming an ABC. And this is where I maximized profit on the leg down at the end of September, right? Anybody that's a legit follower knows about this Ethereum short. So this is the thing, right? You just about $100 away, give or take, $150 away from hitting all-time high. You know, people might be getting a breakout of this wedge structure and FOMOing in maybe, and the market comes down to claim the lows, right? Catching all of those stop losses. So, you know, the main reason I point this out, guys, because it does look like this is a breakout and it's going to hit all-time high, right? It's like that's going to be your target. You might going to get people longing or adding to their position, confident that this is a pullback and we're just going to rally up. And market says, not this time, right? And sweeps up the low. This is a formation that could happen on Ethereum, the WXY. And it would make sense because wave 4s are usually pretty long and choppy and confusing. They really are, right? We've seen that on Bitcoin, you know, basically in 2024, right? When we had the, I'm not going to pull it out now. It's just going to be a bit of time. But anyway, wave 4s can be long. They can be confusing. They can be choppy. And it would make sense for this scenario. So just, I regardless if it forms, you know, a sideways WXY or this is the low, you're longing, you know, you're longing, not yours. I mean, obviously the zone that I'm interested, without a doubt, is the 4,200, 4,300 range. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that my invalidation is going to be the low here. And this area becomes extremely interesting for Ethereum. There is no solid way to identify this swing failure pattern from all-time high that this is, you know, a motive wave to the downside, right? It's not looking impulsive. There's nothing bearish about this movement down. Extremely corrective price action. And we are looking for all-time highs with high probability in the next coming weeks on Ethereum. You know, for this to be the start of a major leg down to get continuation later on here is low probability. It doesn't mean it cannot happen, but it would be very, very rare to see that happen. You know, because a double zigzag, as mentioned, has low probability at the moment, right? Just because of this movement coming up all the way up here to this zone. So yeah, if you ask me, you get the deal. I missed out in long in here, and this was my long in zone for Ethereum. So will I miss this one? I don't want to miss it, right? I don't want to miss this one. So there could be the strategy of scaling in slowly, always maintaining risk, where you have 1%, 1%, 1%, right? Because sometimes you're looking for a level to be hit, and price really is just too bullish, and it doesn't care about your Elliott wave analysis and Fibonacci levels and support, and you front run the zone, right? A bit too fast, a bit too steep. I want a bit of a 3-wave or a bit of a larger range throughout the next, you know, 1 week or so to really start positioning myself here. But as mentioned, there's a good chance that Ethereum does get to all-time high in the next few weeks, okay? So in my understanding, based on the analysis, it's either a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? Into November, we're breaking out in a 3rd wave already, and off we go to Valhalla, right? Or we actually form a little bit of a more complex sideways range on Ethereum that might take 1 or 2 more weeks, okay? Where you get the correction. Yes, you bounce. You're going to see, you know, many people saying about the inverted head and shoulder. That could be a trap, okay? It's in your best interest, though, to long the right shoulder. If we are going to form an inverted head and shoulder, you want to long the right shoulder. You don't want to long the breakout, because it's, you know, you can take bad decisions. You're going to put stop loss very far away, and you might not even put a stop loss, right? And there is the scenario of sweeping up the low here, right? Sweeping up that low of the right shoulder. And this, you know, just to make you understand, this is the zone where you would be interested in opportunity, right? At the 4,200 range, 4,200 to 300. Or if it does bounce from here, you should be positioned already on Ethereum. Long in here has its risks because of the sideways WXY, right? And you know, as mentioned, it's either, you know, I'm going to position myself either here, or, you know, if I you know, position myself, stop loss at break even, all-time high, great, take profit one, and, you know, understanding the fake out before all-time high to get all of those breakout traders that get into the inverted head and shoulder neckline breakout to then just quickly come down to sweep up that right shoulder to form a flat here in your Y. And that reaction area as you're bouncing is where you want to position with stop loss beneath the low here, right? So, I mean, this is what I'm looking for on Ethereum, just to give you a few possible scenarios that could happen and the levels of interest, guys. I'm waiting patiently. And, you know, I might position myself. Of course, Bitcoin still has the risk of going lower, which eventually, if Bitcoin goes down, it's likely going to drag Ethereum also, right? If it moves down another 5%, we're talking about Bitcoin at the moment. So, yeah, just paying attention to Bitcoin mainly to take the decision on Ethereum. Okay, so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's either this or this. And another scenario that could happen, that's the alternative of a flat inside of your Y wave, is forming a triangle structure. Okay, a triangle structure here is also an option for Ethereum. Okay, where you move down, you get supported, a bit of a fake out, you move up, then you come back down here, support again, right? And you form a bit of a triangle, which we're going to have to be looking for in the next coming weeks, just to get a very explosive breakout later on, right into November. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be very, very bullish eventually if we consolidate here inside of the value zone in a bit of a triangle, you know, higher low, lower high, higher low, right? It trades here for another 2 weeks. It's like, well, it's boring, right? It looks like it's going to roll over, but it will be a very, very bullish based on the information that we have from the last few weeks. Very, very interesting to, you know, look for longs, as explained, as the highest probability on Ethereum is to take out all-time high, and there is low probability to take out 3,800. Okay, so just make sure to take that with a pinch of salt. I'm just a random dude on YouTube, but just providing a little bit of the information and looking at the probabilities of support, right, taking into consideration. Hang on a minute, guys. I've got my mic here that's, oh, come on. One second, guys. Sorry about that. I've touched the microphone. This cable absolutely sucks. We'll go through Bitcoin right away. Sorry about that, legends. I'm trying to fix the mic here. There we go. Now it should be good. Now it should be good. Sorry about that. You need to be careful with this mic. I need to change the cable because it's very sensitive. Let's go through Bitcoin eventually. I started off with Bitcoin, guys, just because with Ethereum, just because Ethereum looks very, very nice. Okay, just not to overcomplicate things. This is really, really an interesting area for Ethereum. Okay, 4,200, 300 is a very interesting zone where we do expect that support. Highest volume node of the last few months. And it's either wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 later on to the end of October, or you actually form a flat or a triangle here. Okay, so let's go through the comment section. Then we'll do a little bit of Bitcoin. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content, guys, and the explanations. All right. You know, if you don't want to miss the move, you know, you make sure to manage risk. Okay. You know, nothing here is financial advice. It's just education. But I had the idea here of actually scaling in with a couple of percentage of my capital. And, you know, it should have been done. It should have been done because I was really favoring with the analysis that we get that 3-wave move down to enter into this higher time frame order block, which, you know, this is where I'm looking for the price to reverse, right? So, yeah, this is literally the zone where I do expect Ethereum to reverse, okay, in a nutshell. Let's go through the comment section, then we'll say hello to, well, yeah, let's go through the comment section first, and then I'll go through Bitcoin, guys. I think I've spent a little bit too much time here on Ethereum, but anyway, all good. Yes. Can we get the 500 likes today? Maybe today we can. Okay, we're just about off of over 100 yesterday, but I cannot say anything about. Yeah, I can't say anything about it, guys. About, you know, cash and stuff like that, because yeah, apparently you can't promise stuff like that, right? I'll get the video taken down, okay, from YouTube. So, but if we do get to 500 likes, I do know what to do. All right, and let's see if we can get them. I just can't say it out loud. Let's go through comment section, say hello to everybody, and let's cover Bitcoin, guys. I think it's about time. Will the bears manage to create that scenario? Okay. On the higher time frame, because we have hit the 1.618 extension from the rally that we had on the 1st of September, which was actually pretty damn epic, guys. Fibonacci here doing its job like it should, right? Super powerful, bang, wave, you know, well, wave 1 or A, wave 2 or B, wave 3 or C, hitting exactly the 1.618 extension where it got the rejection here on Monday, right? Pretty damn accurate how Fibonacci works, right? So big rejection from the 1.618 extension, which was sitting just slightly below $26,000. And now the overall question is this a wave 3? Because 1.618 extension is more common for a wave 3 than a wave C. So we go with the idea of, okay, you know, are we seeing here, you know, the 3rd wave being in, and what we are developing is the 4th wave, right? Which preferably we do not want to see it lose the value area high of this entire trading zone. Hang on a minute, guys. I'm saying that we're going to go through the comment section, and I'm not. Aditya, my man, much love to you, brother. How is it? How's with 𝗖𝗍𝗍, Andy? I actually got 𝗖𝗍𝗍 ready here because 𝗖𝗍𝗍 is looking good. 𝗖𝗍𝗍 is one of those altcoin hunts. We know it's a very solid blockchain project. Supposedly it's the easiest to build on. This is why it's got so much fame, right? Throughout the last, you know, 2 years, basically, that 𝗖𝗍𝗍 is the best and the easiest for people to build, you know, dApps and whatever you want, right, on top of the 𝗖𝗍𝗍 blockchain. So it is looking very strong. Okay, we'll take a look at 𝗖𝗍𝗍 later on because it is looking very, very interesting here. I think there's low probability that we're going to take out $2.30 here on 𝗖𝗍𝗍. These movements look very impulsive, very impulsive. Of course, there is a bearish case scenario that this does not look too impulsive, I have to say. And you have an ABC movement here, and we're going to start rolling down in multiple 1-2s. It has the lowest probability at the moment, and you know, we are looking for a higher low, and this 1-2 and 1-2 has much better probabilities. I will be explaining that later on 𝗖𝗍𝗍, where I believe, you know, based on the analysis and the probabilities taken into consideration Elliott wave theory, that this is very likely the low, right? Higher low, this is a low, this is the next higher low. And what we are looking at here in this zone is to form the next higher low before we take out the highs in the next coming weeks. Okay, so it is looking very, very bullish, and we'll go through 𝗖𝗍 right away once we finish Bitcoin, hopefully. Okay, so hello, bro. I am a professional thumbnail designer. I will make top-notch thumbnails. Much love to you, brother. Yeah, make sure to send me a DM if one. You know, you can show me your work. Why not? Right? We'll give a chance. We'll give you a chance. Send me a DM down below, right? And we can take a look at the work, right? Why not? Always fun giving the opportunity of people that do thumbnails. Why not? My thumbnails are not that good. I do them myself, guys. Anyway, let's take a look at the least. Okay. Rocky says, the least everyone can do for information they're getting is jab the like button. Thank you very much, Rocky B, for that insane support. Okay, much love to you, my man. Yeah, we need to find code words for this. Absolutely. Very, very true. I was surprised. This was my first warning video taken down, guys, in 5 years. I never got a warning or a strike on YouTube. This has been the first one. And I did get the information on why that happened, and it had to do with, getting the 500 likes. So I was like, okay, well, that's going to be a problem to do for the future. So anyway, we'll have to figure out some code words. Okay, I will make sure to find that. Suzanne Ross, much love. Hello everyone, ready for Andy Elliott wave explanation? Says Suzanne. Much love to you, Suzanne, and like please. Joseph Cox, how are you doing, brother? Love your show, Andy. Much love. Thank you very much. Samir, El Professor bought the dip. I did not buy the dip, actually. Ala Madrid, shout out to Andy. 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗽, much love. J Jack, hi Andy and legend. Staffer1, the legend himself. Thanks for joining, Staffer1, the absolute king moderator here at the moment. Also with Aditya. Much love to you, Aditya. Hello, Andy brother, says Sandeep. Much love, my man. Thanks for joining the stream. Anyway, let's take a look here at the price of Bitcoin. Okay, just wanted to give a quick hello to everybody here in the comment section as I started off with Ethereum. Anybody that has just joined the stream, make sure to check out the first 10 minutes of the stream, because we literally go through the probabilities on Ethereum, why it is highly likely that all-time highs are coming for Ethereum. Of course, no financial advice, and that there is low probability that we're going to take out 3,800 on Ethereum. Okay, so all-time high is very much expected for the price of Ethereum in the coming weeks. Okay, legends. Hang on a minute. I'm just checking something here, guys, based on the connection. So, yeah, much love to everyone in the comment section. Today is our responsibility to take this stream to 500 likes. Yeah, I was just explaining that I had a warning, okay, because of that on YouTube. The video from yesterday was taken down. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how we can do, this 500 like thing. Waiting for 𝗖𝗍𝗍𝗽, looking for a good entry at too long. Okay, we can take a look at that later on. Aditya, much love, brother. Thank you very much for joining. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Most importantly, Bitcoin, right? So on the higher time frame for Bitcoin, what we are looking at here, legends, is, we have hit the 1.618 extension from this pivot low of the 1st of September to the pivot high. Absolute beauty, guys, if you think about it. Incredible how Fibonacci, can be respected. Very, very, very nice rejection here at the 1.618 extension. And 1.618 extension from a move is more common for a wave 3. Okay, instead of an A, B, C, it's more common for a wave 3. Wave C's usually take out the 1236 or 1382, but doesn't usually arrive to the 1.618. It doesn't mean it never happens. Of course it does. But we'll cover the bullish case scenario first of all, and what we want to see on this bullish case scenario, which is literally looking for an impulse, which we will get high probability confirmation if we do get above 123.4K, okay, which is going to be explained now in the next coming minutes. But what we want to see is the price not to break down below the 382 Fibonacci successfully. That's 119.4K. We do have the anchored VWAP, which is coming in, right, from this pivot higher low that was formed on the 25th of September, just under that 382 Fibonacci. We might not even come down there, guys, just to let you know. You know, wave fours, you've hit the minimum common target, which is the 236 Fibonacci already. So, you know, we don't need to come down to the 382. It's just important that we do not break the 382. So we'll go through lower time frame and explain the different scenarios that could happen. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll explain those scenarios in a minute. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me, if you can see me still. Okay, smash up the like button. Anyway, let's go. So anchored VWAP from this pivot low, right? Anchored VWAP from this pivot low is very, very far away. Okay, we're not taking it into consideration. Anchored VWAP, you need major higher time frame pivot lows or pivot highs, right? So this pivot low anchored VWAP is important from this one because it's a higher time frame. That's where the rally started. Now, what you want to see for the price of Bitcoin, and I have to say, guys, maybe this is going to be a three-wave move down already. Okay, we'll explain the different scenarios that could happen, but let's talk about the support that we do have and why this level is the most important. I got this mouse, guys. I got this. I'm not sure if it's an iMouse or what is it, but it's seriously, it is the worst. I hate it. It's super bad. Super bad. It works really bad. I don't like it, especially when we're doing a stream because it's clunky. So, you know, I'm trying to move my mouse here and it's just clunky. It doesn't work very well. Value area high of the range, 382 Fibonacci, anchored VWAP from this pivot low. There's a lot going on here at 120K. 120K, 119.5 zone, right? This is crucial to hold because if it is lost and you get back inside of the value area of this trading zone, guys, it's not going to be looking very pretty. The potential of going to way lower prices, losing 119.5K, I would give that the officials, you know, level, just because you can fake inside the value area high. That's totally fine, but you don't want to really see some, you know, pretty aggressive move down, breaking, closing 4-hourly candles beneath the value area high here, because it's not going to be looking good, especially if you overlap this pivot. Then that's it, guys, right? We've invalidated here the possible, you know, 5-wave move to the upside, right? An impulse. So the biggest support on higher time frame to consider that we are forming a wave 4 is 119.5 to 120K zone. That's where you want to see. You got a naked point of control from this consolidation that we had also here last Thursday on the 2nd of October. And this is the zone that you want to see proof of support on the higher time frame to consider that possible swing long, right? If you start losing this zone below 119.5, it's not going to be looking good. Crucial to hold 119.5 to 120. Give it, you know, you give it a bit of a breather because of local volatility, but you want to see the price getting exhausted if it were to come down there, right? You want to see chop, chop, chop. And once you get that chop, chop, you know, double, triple bottoms, right? Which we do like very much, to really consider some longs, right? If you do drop there with volatility, with a very aggressive move down, you want to see the price stop. It needs to stop to consider a long, right? That's why catching a falling knife, even though if you're hitting support, is like, you know, it's too aggressive, right? It's too aggressive. The best that you can do is eventually wait for the exhaustion. And we could be, it was pretty clear that the wicks here, you know, breaking out from all-time high, it was getting exhausted, right? The breakouts are getting exhausted. So you realize that double, triple top in this zone, you know, if you want to try and catch, you know, the highs, you literally, as soon as you form 1, 2, right, wicks, then on the third one, right, or fourth one, you can attempt that double, triple top situation because you're realizing that the biggest move has happened already. And you're very likely forming a few 4-5s here, right? Just to finish that impulse. It's getting choppy, and it eventually creates that rollover. So the main reason why I'm saying this is because if we are considering that this high confluence zone, which is at 120K area, which is the value area high, the anchored VWAP from this pivot low, the 382 Fibonacci from the rally, to consider a wave 4, important to not overlap here the $118,000. What you want to see if we were to form, a movement down there is that exhaustion, right? Get the price after a volatile move down to stop at least for a few hours. If you're looking at the 15-minute time frame, right? You want to see it stop. Get that proof of support and create those like wicks, right? Create that double, triple bottom situation, just like you formed that double, triple top situation here at all-time high. You want to see this on the lower time frame when you get to this crucial support zone, because trying to catch a falling knife, yes, sometimes it's going to play out, sometimes it's not. If it does break down, eventually I would be expecting the point of control next. That's the next level of support eventually. It's just a resistance support flip with a point of control. You're going to get some kind of a reaction here if you get down there. I mean, there's a good, nice, looking for scalp longs here is not a bad idea. I wouldn't expect the price to break down this level. But yeah, we eventually want to be cautious, right, about it. So anyway, let's go right away through. Let's go right away through smashing up the like button first of all and destroy it. Let's go. And so this is higher time frame, guys. Okay, crucial for the price of Bitcoin. If it decides to come and hit the lows of yesterday, that it does not manage to break down successfully, okay, from this 119.5K zone. You do not want to see overlap of this pivot, because if not, we can likely go to lower prices, right? We're going to give the chance to the bulls here to create another new all-time high. What happens if the price does break down from this level? This is higher time frame stuff still, guys. We talked about this yesterday, but it's just a little reminder. We are looking for a potential ABC flat on the higher time frame, okay, which is this scenario right over here, okay? The moment that you lose, the moment that you hit this pivot high at 118K, what we are looking at with the highest probability is an ABC flat where you have a 3-wave down, and this is a 3-wave move up. Low probability for a double 1-2 and you're breaking a 3rd wave. Lower probability. We will still consider some possible long entries at the golden pocket. We need to give a chance to the bulls always. We can't just be bearish or just be bullish. We need to be very neutral, right? We need to be very neutral in the market always, giving a little bit of favor to one scenario, but ultimately understanding that anything can happen at the end of the day. But it's just a brutal level of support, which is the point of control, right? 117.5K. It's just very, very good support based on the point of control, right? That's where we got rejected right over here, guys, right? The price got rejected when we got up there back in September, right? So yeah, this level is important. There's no doubt about it. So we will check, okay? But if we do come down there, we have the risk inevitably, right? If this bounce is very poor, not even managing to get above the value area high, there is the risk eventually, guys, of forming that 5-wave down to form an ABC, right? With the potential of getting below 107K. I know it sounds unrealistic, guys. You will only believe this once it happens, right? But it's possible, especially if you lose the value area high. If you do tap 118K, this scenario increases in probability. Of course, it can be a running flat where you do not take out 108K, and you kind of find support in this region halfway through to then rally later on. But we just need to understand that losing value area high and hitting 118k, there is the potential of going lower, especially if your bounce is very, very poor and very overlappy, that, you know, you could be looking for a rollover later on here. So it's just important, level to level, of course, to understand the higher time frame scenarios. And now it's where it becomes interesting. So the main scenarios on the higher time frame here is looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You break out in the next 1 to 2 weeks to new all-time highs in that fifth wave that could really go to much higher levels. A fifth wave can be an expanding fifth wave. It can be a regular fifth wave. It can double top here even from the highs. So we'll be paying attention, of course, but we need to figure out what's happening here, which is what we're going to do right now on the lower time frame. So make sure to stay tuned, because we will be explaining the different scenarios and the levels that are important to really confirm, you know, if it is bullish or it is bearish. So main scenarios, ABC flat. For the moment, I am giving priority for the bullish case because, yeah, until we lose 119k and hit 118k, I will not give priority to the ABC flat. So I am giving priority at the moment, as the market is bullish on the higher time frame still, to the impulsive move to the upside. Okay. Also, because we have hit the 1.618 extension, which is more common for a 1, 2, 3 than a ABC. Okay. So just with the information that we have based on projections, we are giving higher probability that this is a third wave for the moment, till proven otherwise, right? So let's go through the 15-minute time frame and understand this movement to the downside, right? Bump and run pattern. We used to talk about a lot about bump and runs, guys, right? A bump and run is definitely possible here, especially if you overlap this pivot low. If you manage to get above 123.4k, who's familiar with a bump and run, guys? I know many of the followers from, you know, the last few years are very much aware of a bump and run, right? We've seen many of these play out, where you have a bump phase, you have a very aggressive bump phase, which we did have yesterday, right? It was a bit of a bump, you know, situation, moving down almost $5,000, right, throughout yesterday. And then the price bottoms out and it starts grinding to the upside, and it actually breaks the lower high resistance trend line, right? Let's just say that this is possible, that a bump and run is a possibility here. And it will have higher probability to play out, even though, I mean, you could still go lower later, guys. It doesn't mean, right? But if you hit this level, this pivot, there is low probability for this to be a bearish impulsive move down, because you have a 3-wave move. Now the bears are literally, you know, betting on the price that this is a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, which is the highest amount of volume, the biggest projected move, zigzagging move up, right? To not overlap the golden pocket, not hit the golden pocket. 50% is your last line in the sand to get the rejection without hitting golden pocket, which in this case is overlapping your wave 1. The bears, this is the invalidation, right? For the bears, for the price to, you know, roll over and test the lows of yesterday at 120.6k. We've got lots of people shorting at this zone because, you know, people do this kind of analysis, right? That they do the same analysis. Technical analysis is technical analysis, right? It's a worldwide thing when you do it correctly, right? So Bybit traders are betting in this scenario that we are explaining right now. You can see it on Bybit when we consider the CVD divergence or the order flow. You got over 50 million leverage short positions entering on Bybit in the last 2-3 hours. 21 million here, 25 million here in this zone at 122.9k zone. There's lots of shorts entering the market at this moment, and they are not managing to push the price down with 50 million shorts. They are getting absorbed, right? Which is very concerning, right? This is what I was letting the people know in the legends. You know, it's very concerning to see so many shorts. I mean, with a 50 million short position, should manage to push the price down a little bit, but it seems like it is kind of retail because you have the millions of dollars very separated, and that means that it's a bunch of retail that are trying to push the price down here, which eventually has the risk of pushing, you know, of going higher, guys. You know, I have to say, if we were to see millions of longs entering in this zone as we were breaking up this, you know, basically the highs of the range here, if I would have seen, instead of 50 million shorts and we see 50 million longs, I would bet against those longs eventually. Okay, I would bet against those longs. I think these longs are going to get trapped, right? And obviously their stop losses are going to be in these higher lows or liquidations. And I would really, really, really bet on the possibility of forming a 5-wave move to the downside. But as there's so many shorts entering here, 50 million shorts entering in the last few hours in this zone, very separated, right? So there's lots of retail, right, trying to, you know, really push the price down here, and they haven't done much. They haven't done a great job for the moment. So that only brings you the possibility of the price, you know, taking out the highs and not rolling over. Okay, so something that is interesting here is the support that we have. Now, this is very, very classic as well, where we are downtrending for the last 2 days, right? We are uptrending on the higher time frame, but what would be interesting for the bulls, if we get a leg down here, if we get more shorts entering the market and we get bullish CVD divergence, which we're already getting, guys. There's too many shorts piling up here. If we do get higher lows on the CVD, on the price action, and lower lows also on the rest of the exchanges, Bybit already is forming bullish CVDs, lots of shorts entering. If we do get lower lows from this zone, okay, lower lows on the CVD, Bybit's already forming them. Let's see if the other exchanges do form them as well. I'm going to say that I will give a chance to the bulls. I will give a chance to the bulls to form a multiple 1-2. 1-2, 1-2, right? And this is an ABC structure to then break out. But the best zone to speculate on that, you know, look no further. It has to be the point of control of this area, right? Basically of yesterday. This has to be the area to consider a double 1-2. If you lose this zone, then a double 1-2 here is just not. We are downtrending. You need to be aware of the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or a double zigzag as well, guys. ABC, wave X, and another zigzag down to then maybe get the rally. You know, you're actually holding the 120k zone. A double zigzag is possible, or a 5-wave structure. I am extremely interested in longs beneath this low, guys. You know, I'm interested in longs considering the possible bullish CVD divergence at this point of control. Because if it is a double 1-2, you really want to hold, you know, 50% to golden pocket here. We're going to have to see, right? Invalidation is very, very small. It's literally taking out this low. If you take out this low, you're likely going to take out the low here from yesterday. So it's not worth getting into, a stop loss down here or adding to position down here, just get out of the market if the price does claim this low, because you're likely going to take this low and you're probably going to get a pretty decent drop down. So why be underwater when you can just get stopped out and look for new longs at lower prices at the 120k zone, right? Which we explained that's very good support. So I'm going to give a chance to the bulls. I mean, it might pump from here, but this zone will be looking very interesting for a double 1-2, because it's classic that at this point, people are going to be very interested in the rollover, right? You can see it already throughout Bybit on order flow. Massive amount of shorts entering here at this 122.8, 22.9k zone. And you might get them a little excited to get into more shorts if we roll over. And I'm just going to be watching very carefully this area, guys, because if it is a multiple 1-2, then eventually what you're looking for is a third wave breakout here, right? And then obviously 4-5, 4-5, and you're looking for all-time high, literally, right? Bump and run pattern. And this is what happens in a bump and run, that you're looking for a third wave breakout. It gets very aggressive if it does break out, and you're just trapping a lot of short traders here. We do have it on the information on the order flow and CVD. You short traders want to take profit at the low, right? It's inevitable. It's the target zone, at least this local low at 120.5k. So your best support is the point of control, and you really need to pay attention to the CVD, right? If we get the CVD divergence absolutely nuking here, and we got higher lows on the price action, which we kind of, look, there are shorts coming into the market on Bybit US dollar tether also. We need a little bit more of a push down on the rest of exchanges. So get those shorts coming down here, get them coming down to form lower lows on the CVD. Everybody's shorting right now the rollover, and you're actually forming higher lows on price action. They're just getting absorbed for then the market makers to do this. And you're like 1-2, 1-2, 3, boom, you break out and you actually form that bump and run pattern, right? It's the only zone of interest, basically, right? It's the zone of interest to see if we see proof of support, more shorts piling in, right? It's going to be interesting to see if we do hold this 121.8k zone, give or take 121.8, 122k. Let's see. Okay, it's a scenario. It is a scenario. Tight invalidation. If we get that sign of strength, you can always add to the position later on. Okay, but I would probably consider an attempt. Okay, so let's see if we get down to this area. Will be looking very interesting. We are pushing down right now. Today we do have some news. Okay, we got some news. We do have the FOMC minutes. That's at 10 p.m. UAE time. Pay attention to this timing, guys. You're probably going to get, it might be a big fat nothing burger. It might have lots of volatility. I don't know. But pay attention at 10 p.m. UAE time, which is in about 5 hours from now. And just pay attention to that. You're going to get some local volatility just in case anybody has some open position. So very interesting. Let's talk about this green box, which would be the confirmation level, taking away the bump and run scenario. If we do manage to hit this 123.4k level, we have a high probability 3-wave corrective structure here, legends. And what we would be looking at is the possibility, let me just put some music here, of the price. Hang on a minute. Where's the music? DJ, where are you? There we go. So let's just continue here with the probabilities and the scenarios. So if you do get that 3-wave move to the downside, We got this 3-wave move down. Now the overall question, can we turn it into an impulse 5-wave structure, right? Even though if we were to roll down from here, as mentioned, there's 2 scenarios. I'm heavily interested in looking for longs at 119, 120k zone, guys, or a double bottom here. You also got a naked point of control from this consolidation, and you got the value area high of the entire range, right? Which is from since July. Let's get that zone right over here. Where is it? Value area high of the entire range. Where are you? Yeah, I can't. There we go. Even though if it is a 5-wave move to the downside, you are looking for a reversal as soon as you take out this low at some point eventually, right? Because you have a 5-wave move. You are looking for a possible reversal here if you were to take out these lows. So this becomes an interesting zone to start looking for longs on exhaustion. Proof of support, right? Looking at the 5-minute time frame, seeing that choppiness, right? Just as we had here, choppiness. You're chopping down after the big move down, you're chopping, and then we get in this reversal. So coming down to this epic zone of support where we have, a naked point of control, the value area high of the range. If you stop here, if we were to claim this low, you're looking at 2 scenarios. You're looking at the end of a 5th wave, which inevitably you are looking for a bounce, right, in a 3-wave structure at a bare minimum, right? You are looking for a pretty significant relief rally with the potential of taking out these highs. Or worst case scenario, you are looking for a double zigzag, right? Which is basically looking at this movement down to be a zigzag, right? 3-wave structure. You have a 3-wave structure to the upside. And then you might take out the low here. Like, let's just imagine that you take out the low, you form a little bit of a double bottom. And, people that have a basic knowledge on Elliott wave theory are going to say, okay, that's the 5th wave right over here, right? Okay, good. I got into the long, wherever you're longing, either the SFP or looking at the naked point of control here for that SFP of the naked point of control. We can consider that as well. Get below it, not interested, get above it, boom, right? You look for the long. 5th wave, okay, all good. Then you get a shallow bounce, and then you come back down very aggressively beneath that low that has been created. And this is where it will, get a lot of attention from the people that are, literally looking for the 5th wave, and they'll be like, hang on a minute, well, I thought this was the 5th wave and we were going to get a larger bounce, okay? And we just got a shallow bounce and we came back down again. And this is where you're looking for the double zigzag, which would be very, very, very bullish eventually, right? You're looking for that W, your X wave right over here, if that is the case. And if you take out the low, you form a corrective bounce, and then you move down again, it becomes incredibly interesting to look for, that literally failed auction of this low, right? Where you drop down and then you recover that level. This is going to be the moment to look for very, very good long positions. So a double zigzag here and a WXY is also very, very interesting. Okay, so you get the deal. It's not going to be easy. Some people might long, they get stopped out, then they long again, and then it comes back down, right? So you just need to be managing risk very, very well till you actually catch the one that gets the big reversal, right? In the bullish case, either wave 5, you get a larger bounce, or WXY, and then you get the bounce later on, maintaining as support that $120,000 range. And this is this kind of scenario of a double zigzag. And this is looking at the most local bearish case scenarios. We'll go through the bullish ones later on, guys. Give me a second here. Is taking into consideration that double zigzag, that we are looking for a wave 4 here, right? We are looking for that wave 4. And, you know, you just need to be aware that that double zigzag is very much possible. Okay. That's what I'm explaining here on the lower time frame. Could the wave 4 be in here? Could it be that we are still in the wave 4 of the wave 3? Because that's something that we haven't talked about. Maybe this has been a ABC movement. You got your wave 1 here, your wave 2, your wave 3, and this has just been your 4th wave right now. You know, wave 3 hasn't even finished yet, and we hit all-time high. That is possible. And this would be, you know, I'm just going to explain here why it's going to be in your best interest as soon as we take out 123.4K. As soon as the price takes out this level, it's going to be in your best interest to look for swing longs, right? Because we are looking for all-time highs to be hit you know, later on, because this will absolutely confirm that this is a 3-wave structure if you get above the 123.4. So getting above this level is extremely good for the bulls. You can form whatever you want here, back and forward, take out the lows again. You know, you're going to look for all-time highs in the next, give or take, 1 to 2 weeks. If you get above 123.4, okay? Of course, you do have still the potential of a zigzag down, zigzag up, and a double zigzag down. If you take out this high over here, and say that you do reject, you get a fake out of the bump and run scenario, right? You move up here and it fakes out and then it comes down. I have to say, it's a crucial level of resistance that we have at 124K. So any aggressive traders, any aggressive bears out there, I just want to let you know that, you know, you got the point of control of this zone of the last few days sitting exactly at the lower high resistance trend line. Okay, if we were to hit that, you know, if we were to get up there in the next coming hours, plus the golden pocket from all-time high to the pivot low, right? It is slightly higher, the golden pocket. So, you know, it's a very fakey out zone, because the average trader, the average TA guy is going to be looking at that trend line, right? And whoever's not using volume profile Fibonacci, right? They cannot see that there's a massive point of control here at 124K plus the golden pocket, right? So that's what can create the fake out of the lower high resistance trend line, right? You kind of break out of the trend line and then, you know, you start rolling over here. So brutal resistance at 124K, point of control of this area with the golden pocket of the all-time high to the pivot low created yesterday. Okay, it's just a very, very strong resistance that you do have here. Just to pay attention, which gives you, I mean, the most bearish case is a ABC zigzag down. You form this movement up in a 3-wave structure. Oh, this is bullish. It's great. We're breaking out, which could be the case. But you need to get above this wall at 124K, right? Which is the big, big resistance area, okay? Just pay attention to that area. It's just important. And if we were to move down impulsively and, you know, correct, and then another impulse down, oh my goodness, this would be the moment, guys. If we were to form this, if it is formed, I don't know if it's going to be formed. Of course, I wish I wish I would know what's going to be the exact next move, guys. All right. Regardless, if we do hit this 123.4K level, I will understand based on the structure that there is extreme high probability in hitting all-time high, of course. But you can get a dump. If you were to get a dump, I would be paying attention to the retracements to see if they're very corrective and very choppy. But what will be high probability is that we're going to hit all-time high at some point, right, in the near future. And if the price decides to get rejected at golden pocket and point of control, which is a massive wall, guys, But if you get above this zone, it's not worth shorting, I have to say. But if you get a bit of dancing choppiness here, maybe you can consider some double, triple tops. It is a beautiful area to consider double, triple tops. Okay, you might hit it once, get a reaction, move down, then try and break above it, right? And this is the double, triple toppy zone where you need to attempt the rejections on double, triple tops. It's the best way to get in safely because you get the best entry, and as soon as price moves down a little bit, you can be extremely defensive with your stop loss, right? Can really, really protect yourself very, very quick if you're getting these double, triple top scenarios, right? If you break above this zone, which is, the point of control 124K, you just don't want to participate, right? You're saying, okay, we're breaking through this area, so we're not getting a reaction. If you went straight through it, you're not interested. If you're trading above 124K, you got above it, right? That's the whole reason of support and resistance. If you break it, don't add to position and do any of that nonsense, because if it decides that it's a bump and run and it wants to hit all-time high, right, you're going to get wrecked. So if you get above it, not interested in that double, triple top scenario. So very, very strong area to take into consideration, to basically look for the reaction and take a trading decision there, maybe, right? Possible. As explained, this is the zone that I would be paying attention, maybe to consider a short, maybe. But if the price, even better, really rolls over, right, and decides to take out yesterday's lows again, regardless if we come up, right, hear me out here, guys, because it doesn't really matter. Regardless if you do form this or you roll over from here, this is the zone without a doubt that I would be looking for longs. 119.5 to 120K after sweeping the lows of yesterday. It doesn't matter if you take out this high or not, right? As I explained, I am going to give the bulls a chance at 121.8K. You got a point of control here from yesterday. A double 1-2. If there's insane amount of shorts entering here and we get absorption where there's the movement down cannot push to hit the lows of yesterday, and we start dancing around here for an hour or so, that's enough for an absorption. Because absorption, what literally is going to tell us that lots of millions of shorts are entering, as we already see here at the highs, what's happening in the last few hours. If you take a look at the order flow or the CVD, you can see how, holy smokes, on Bybit, there is heavy short activity at the moment, and they're not doing a great job. The people that are entering shorts right now are not doing a great job. They're getting absorbed. You cannot, if there's 50 million just on Bybit US dollar perps on its own here, and with 50 million they've made this move, they're probably not going to succeed. There's a good chance they might not succeed because, there's too many longs entering here. Bybit US dollar tether as well. Massive shorts entering in the last few hours. And they haven't pushed the price down very much, just like a few $100s. So yeah, it would be even better to give them a bit of hope on the bearish case, move a little bit lower, form even more shorts and more bullish CVD divergence. And I have to say that, the best zone would be the 50% golden pocket area from the last pivot. Because, yeah, that's what I would consider maybe looking for a long, right? Maybe looking for a long, literally at the point of control of this area. If you break that zone, I wouldn't be too interested. The point of control of this zone, which is, hang on a minute, guys. Let's go here through. Man, this mouse that I have is not nice. Yeah, it's basically the golden pocket area to consider that multiple 1-2 here. if we get more bullish CVD divergence as we're climbing down here, and we get more millions, tens of millions of shorts still entering and forming, higher lows on price action and lower lows on the CVD, yeah, I mean, I'm going to consider that a higher low here is possible, because you get the point. Shorts want these lows from yesterday to be claimed. And this looks like it's going to roll over. And, it's basically getting absorbed and then bang, right? Bump and run. So obviously, the best option is going to be looking for proof of support at the point of control. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. If we move up from here, okay, so be it. I know what I'm looking at later on, depending on the reaction at the point of control from this zone, which is with the golden pocket. If it is very choppy, I might consider a short. If you fly straight through it, I won't short eventually. But if you get choppiness in this zone, I might consider the short. Obviously, we do have the bump and run breakout, so be very, very careful. It might fly and head to all-time high, so we want to be very cautious with shorts. So yeah, that's a little bit of the plan here. If the price, finally moves down from here, regardless of going up here and then down, or down from here, the reason why it's interesting for longs at 119.5 to 120K after sweeping up these lows is because there's only a few options here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After fifth wave, you got big support here. We are looking for a relief, at least a relief here. And most bearish case, as you get a relief, which is small, and you take out the lows again, and then you move up. And what you're looking for here is a double zigzag in a wave W. We've got a zigzag down, which happened in the last 2 days. This being your X wave, right? Wherever it tops out, if it decides to top out here, that's your X wave. Is my drawing a little bit messy? It probably is. I knew it. Our art teacher told me that I suck at drawing when I was back in school. This being an X wave, move down. Other scenario is get that bounce, right? This is your wave X, and form a double zigzag. So you create that kind of double bottom, but it's kind of a bit of a trappy bounce, and then you take out the lows again. This is why value area high of the entire range since July becomes very, very interesting. Muy interesante. Muy interesante. It would be a zone that I need to start being a bit aggressive with my trading, because I'm being very conservative, right? And we need to start getting aggressive here with some scenarios. Where's the value? Well, hang on a minute, guys. Yeah, literally value area high of the range. You don't want to lose 120K successfully. It's as explained at the beginning of the stream or halfway through. Can't remember now. It is the value area high of this entire trading zone. So, I mean, you really want to try and hold this area if we are considering the bullish case, right? Which is that wave 4. You really want to hold that value area high at 120. You can chop beneath it. That's fine. That's, when you're looking for the wicks to the downside. And, I would be interested in looking for longs here. I would give hope, right, for the bulls to literally not manage to break down here, right? Form a little bit of a kind of a bullish pennant, if you wish, right? A little bit of a kind of a bullish pennant or a wedgie structure. So yeah, let's get this drawing out of the way and zoom in. So yeah, levels of interest more locally. A chance for the double 1-2, 121.7.8. Interesting. We're rolling down right now. We are getting lots of shorts entering the market, okay? And they are not doing a great job, I have to say. Lots of shorts that have entered here at the top. If we continue getting these bullish CVD divergence, I am very, very interested. I want a little bit lower, of course. Of course, you might think we're downtrending, right? Why would you long here? You know, we're downtrending from yesterday. Well, we are uptrending on the higher time frame. So it's going to be an interesting area, especially if we continue with bullish CVD divergence. Something to pay attention in the next coming hours. Biggest level to take into consideration, you want choppiness, you want proof of support, you want the price dancing around in this zone. You don't want to see the price nuking down, right, with no reaction. You just don't want to participate. But if we move down to this area and we just continue the dancing momentum and we go a little bit sideways, something like this, yeah, if we form this price action, eventually after this price action, we got the move up. If we form this price action at this zone, I'm going to say shorts are getting absorbed here and we are finding support. A possible bounce is there, right? So eventually for the bears, they are trying to defend the wave 4 narrative. Okay, I think it's pretty simple to understand that the bears are trying to defend the wave 4 here, right? The bears are trying to defend the wave 4. You got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 right over here, and you know you're looking for that wave 5 that is taking out the low, right? So yeah, let's hold on a minute. So the bears are really trying their best to not overlap the wave 1. And there's lots of shorts entering here, guys. When you have so many shorts entering and you've just moved a few $100s, you know, they have a chance that they're going to fail here. You know, they're probably going to fail. They are getting absorbed. So anyway, wave 4 still has the potential, of course. If we suddenly get tens of millions of shorts entering now in the next coming hours, you might get that push down eventually, right? So super important that point of control maintains absorption. If you form a higher low from here and you move up. Another scenario that's interesting, of course, you do have the golden pocket and this pivot low that can be a resistance support flip. I was going to consider, I was going to consider a 5-wave move up here, but we were already overlapping. I wouldn't consider this a 5-waver. I would consider a double 1-2 here, guys. Really, I would consider 1-2, 1-2. I mean, if we do break out here with power, we might be creating that 3rd wave, which is the bump and run, guys. Right? It's literally a bump and run is followed by multiple 1-2s because you need the breakout in a 3rd wave, and there's lots of shorts liquidations at the moment. The amount of shorts that have entered in the last few hours, guys, it's pretty insane. It is pretty insane, the amount of shorts that are entering it, which is that can create this breakout for the liquidity grab eventually, right? So yeah, let's go. Let's see. If I'm going to get into a long, I want to long at support, and I want to see more bearish CVDs, and I want to see the price really holding here at least for an hour or so, right? I'm not here to catch a falling knife. I'm not here to catch the exact low. I want to see proof of support. When you get a rally and you're moving down, you want to see that choppiness, right? This is getting supported. You get the rally. We come down to this zone, and if we get supported, I'm going to attempt here a long position. Okay, I am going to attempt it, but I need the support. I need the range like we formed a few hours ago, right? If we are rolling over from here and we absolutely lose the level, you know, I'm not going to long, guys. You know, just So yeah, anyway, I need a bit of that support. And as we're getting that support, even more shorts entering, right? So this kind of scenario happened a few weeks ago. Where we can take a look at the CVD, and it does look like after a downtrend that you are going to go to lower levels, and the price decides to roll over. I mean, to pump and not roll over, which is very interesting. And of course, that is when you have bullish CVD divergence. Super important to see proof of support. If the price is just losing the level, then obviously you're not interested here, right? In that 5-wave move to the downside. Sorry, in that double 1-2 scenario. Let's go through the chance here. Yeah, well, I wouldn't consider this being a B wave. I was going to say, could it be an ABC flat? Could this be an A, B, and then, you maybe claim the lows and then form a rally? Well, when we take into consideration timing from this potential wave 1, it is getting, over 5 times longer than your wave 1, which is decreasing in probability. So a multiple 1-2 is your only best chance here. Multiple 1-2, right? This is a 3-wave for the bulls, literally locally at this moment. If they want to defend the rollover, they need to form a higher low, right, in this region. And double 1-2 is the best scenario, right? If they want to confirm that this is a 3-wave structure, they will really want to hold support down there. It's going to be an interesting zone. See if the price does hold for a few hours, which I'll be checking out here later on in the next coming hours, okay? Anyway, much love to everybody, guys. Thanks for joining the stream and smashing up that like button. Much appreciated. We've got almost 300 likes. Absolutely awesome. Hopefully you have learned something. If this, if you have enjoyed the explanations and, looking at the scenarios, super important to take into consideration CVD. Okay, divergence and a little bit of order flow to realize if there's so many shorts entering the market and they're not moving the price down, are they going to get trapped and the price is going to explode? Smash up the like button, guys, if you like the explanation. And the levels higher time frame has been explained at the beginning of the stream, where we do have, lower prices. 120, 119.5 is interesting. If we lose that point of control, I'm looking for longs after this low is taken, right? See proof of support. Let's see if the bears manage here with the wave 4. Wave 5 eventually is taking out this low. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Guys, remember, if you are interested in trading, Weeks has an incredible bonus, guys, okay, of 20%. 20% deposit cashback. Depending on what you deposit and the trading volume, you'll be getting some cash back on your account, guys, okay? And Bluffin also has some great perks and deals, okay? You got 25% fee reduction also when you sign up with the links down below, guys. Take advantage. Bluffin also gets, lots of cryptos launched there. Bluffin, Weeks, make sure to check out the links down below to get the best bonuses available. And if you do the minimum deposit, you do get access to the VIP Telegram channel, guys, okay? If you are interested in that, check out the links down below in the description. Send me a message. So we are rolling down at the moment. We are rolling down. We're getting more shorts here coming in, and still more bullish CVD divergence. It's going to be an interesting scenario. It is really going to be interesting here to see if we are going to get a higher low supported in this zone, right? It's a very, very classic rollover situation, right? Lower high, dead cat bounce, 3-wave structure. This looks corrective. We should be coming down to the lows, which, we are locally downtrending since the rejection of all-time high eventually, but when you zoom out, we are very much uptrending still. So let's see. The bears for the wave 4 had to consider the 50% Fibonacci, right? Not overlapping the golden pocket and that wave one. They're doing an okay job for the moment, defending 50% and defending this pivot low, because the bears realize that if that low is taken, the probabilities increase to take out, you know, new all-time highs at a later stage, right? So we are moving down right now. We are moving down ever so slightly. Maybe VWAP also could be interesting. VWAP is right there, just getting tapped at the moment. Let's see if VWAP gets the dancing consolidation. Point of control is actually slightly lower. So let's see. I want to see some dancing, guys, down here at the point of control, right? If we do get down here to the point of control and the golden pocket zone, I want to see some dancing. And what do I mean by dancing? Well, literally, I want to see a bit of this price action, right? I want to see a bit of dancing momentum here. Find support in the next coming hours, and that will be looking very, very interesting for the price to form a higher low, right? Inevitably, you need to think about the drop that we had yesterday and the bear flag formation. Holy smokes, it is lagging. I don't know what's happening here, guys, with I got too much crap open here that I need to close down, because holy smokes. Yeah, this is it's lagging big time. Let's see if we do get a bit of dancing momentum here. Bears are doing their best. They are doing their best here with the movement down. They didn't do a great job. Let's see if we do get some absorption here in this zone. I wanted to talk about a little bit of news today, guys. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, we have really stuck to Bitcoin for a long time. Okay, let's see if we get proof of support here. If we start losing point of control, it's going to be looking quite okay for the bears. Let's see if we get a bit of dancing going on here. Let me know if you did short the 50% Fibonacci zone. Okay, in the comment section. Let's say hello to the beautiful community. What's going on here? Thanks a lot, Andy. You are so cool. Amadeo, much love to you, brother. Posible que sea una distribución Wyckoff, says Masacro. Es posible que sea una distribución Wyckoff. A Wyckoff distribution. Let's take a look at that right away. Could it be a Wyckoff distribution? Is that here from all-time high? Moving down aggressively here. The bears want to push down. Let's see if we do get... Wow. This is moving down. Yeah, we are getting 16 million shorts at the moment entering the market. Woo! There we have the aggressive bullish CVDs. If price dances around here for the next hour, guys, it's going to be looking pretty good. Okay, so we got the first major drop coming into the point of control. There's no rush here eventually, as you know, eventually this could be an A, B, C. It could be a fourth wave. Now the price action decides to come down here very aggressively to take out these lows. So we need to see proof of support. It's super important, right? No, not worth here. Eventually getting into a long, realizing the bearish case, right? You know, hey, you know, we're looking at a possible fifth wave on the formation. So no rush here. You know, you just need to see proof of support, because what you want to see here, if you do form a few candlesticks, is it's going to be absorption, guys. Whales are going to be absorbing the selling pressure to then, you know, reverse. But if they don't absorb anything, then they're just going to give, you know, open the doors for the bears to actually take out the low. So a little reaction at the moment. It really needs to dance around here for at least an hour, give or take. Get some reactions. that's the moment where it's going to be interesting. For the moment, it is not interesting for a long. Eventually, you are downtrending. This could have been an ABC bounce. A fourth wave, fifth wave is taking out the low. So, just to let you know how patient you need to be sometimes and realize if you are getting absorption, right? Today, it would have been interesting to look for a little long position in this area, okay? Because you were forming bullish CVD divergence and you were holding very nicely. And eventually, you're wanting a third wave up here. 1, 2, 3 at a bare minimum. So you can see how you're getting supported here. You're holding very nicely. So you really need a hold here in this zone for, at least an hour or so, give or take. I mean, it can be 30 minutes, about an hour or so. This is the 15-minute. I would give it a few candlesticks of support. Then it will, then it could reverse, right? Then it could take that reversal. So you want to see a bit of choppiness in this zone. Let's see. If not, you let the bears take control, go over, right? For that 5-wave move to the downside. Anyway, let's go right away through the comment section. Let me know anybody that maybe some of you attempted the short at 50% Fibonacci. Let me know right away in the comment section if that is the case. 𝗬cie, mad love, all you sexy fib dancers. Much love to you, 𝗬cie. Thanks for joining the stream. Okay, much appreciated as always. Staffer one, boy oh boy. Somebody at the beginning was saying we're not shorting in October. You can short if you're taking it as a scalp, okay? It's all good. I was actually talking about a short position yesterday in the Legends Pro community. I actually forward the video to the VIP group as well. This is an interesting level for a short. Nobody wants to short in an uptrend, right? You like this dude is talking about shorts in a bull market, right? How crazy is that? I mean, it's a setup just to take out the lows, right? The reason why this was an okay area to look for a short was looking at the value area high of this trading zone. Okay, it was basically previous day value area high. Previous day value area high to provide the resistance with the point of control, the golden pocket from the highs to the lows. If you're forming incredible bearish CVD divergence, we can consider the possibility of a short here. If you break above golden pocket value area high from yesterday, I wouldn't put, even a stop loss, give or take, not even at all-time high, even lower than that, just accept the loss. But the target was the low, and if you break down, then you can make some extra profits on that move. We're getting a nice reaction here from the previous day point of control. How epic would that be? How epic would that be? Because the amount of shorts entering here is pretty insane. It is a bit aggressive to enter, I have to say. I think it's going to chop for a little bit. I think it is going to chop, but we're already getting a good reaction here at that point of control. And there's too many shorts entering here. Let's see. I would prefer a bit of choppiness. No rush. But holy smokes, that is a good reaction bounce, that's for sure. At the point of control there. Anyway, just something that I was pointing out yesterday. We had lots of longs entering here as well, guys. This is the importance, right, of understanding the CVD divergence or the order flow as well, where the amount of longs entering here was pretty insane. So I did mention in the video update, if you get lots of longs entering here, you suddenly see CVD divergence going through the roof. This is no bueno, guys. CVD, or looking at order flow if you wish, depending on if you're using a software platform, right, where you have order flow such as ExoChart or Atas or whatever, you see so many longs entering here, which was Pretty damn crazy. Look at the CVD, right? Lots of people long into new all-time highs. Yeah, not today. And a big smackdown, which was pretty insane to see. We've got a massive rejection when we do zoom out here on that pump that we had yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see 14 million longs positions on that movement up into resistance, which was the previous day Valley area high, with the golden pocket from all-time high to the pivot local low of yesterday. Golden pocket, previous day Valley area high, huge amount of longs entering here. Bearish CVD divergence, lower highs on the price action, higher highs on CVD. And bingo, right? Big move down. So yeah, longs that entered here, we need a moment of silence for those longs, because yeah, they got hurt here yesterday, right? Even with a 10x long position, you know, not the greatest long to FOMO in right over there. And it was a scenario that was mentioned on the the morning update in the VIP, also the pro community, guys. If you are interested in that, you have the Legends Pro community, which is the link here in the middle, right? Join the Legends Pro community right over here. If you are interested in educational videos every day, you got a great community which are sharing charts and ideas every single day. Myself, the rest of the coaches such as 𝗬𝗍𝗍, sharing insights and possibilities every single day. We're getting a pretty damn good reaction here on the movement down. I'm worried about how many shorts are entering here. So yeah, let's go through the comment section, and yeah, if you want to join the VIP, guys, also super simple to join. Okay, just need to sign up to either Bluffin or Weeks. Bluffin is getting huge amount of attention. They are leading the way. You just need an email and a password, by the way, to sign up, and you get the best perks. Okay, best bonuses available out there. And if you sign up, do a minimum deposit, you get access to the VIP, where I'm sharing analysis and possible setups that I am looking at. What an instant bounce that we're getting, guys. Holy smokes. 𝗬𝗍𝗿𝗍, my man, much love. 550 watching, only 310 likes. Let's get that like button destroyed, legends. Andy, would you analyze Solana and other alts now? Yes, I will. Sorry, we have too much information here. I mean, where I like most of the trading is on Bitcoin and Ethereum, I have to say. Ethereum analysis has been taken a look at in the first 20 minutes of the stream, guys. I'm going to try and timestamp this. It would be ideal to put Ethereum analysis. Ethereum looking super bullish, guys. We are looking for new all-time highs on Ethereum with high probability. Low probability that we do hit the lows at 3,800. High probability that this could be the low. High probability, guys. Lots of support on Ethereum at 4,200, 300. We explained the different outcomes that could happen here, regardless if this is a wave 1, wave 2, we break up later on in a wave 3. If we are going to form a larger sideways WXY and then we break out later on in the next couple of weeks, check out the analysis, guys. I explain how high probability it is, how highly likely it is that we're going to all-time high on Ethereum. All right, let's get a little bit of a range here instead of bouncing straight off from this zone. Hopefully on Bitcoin, let's see if we do range a little bit. Beautiful reaction here at the previous day point of control. Let's zoom in on the lower time frame, because I might even jump in on a long. Yeah. Not going to be an easy one. Not going to be an easy one. Not going to be an easy one. But if you take out this lower high of the drop, there's going to be a good chance that we're going to move up here with a pullback or not. I would say, could you form a mini bump and run here in this zone, right? Lower high. For the moment, we're rolling down, okay? No moment to be excited just yet. But you got this choppiness right down here. A little bit of sideways momentum, then this move down. If this move down does not continue now for a possible wave 3, right? And then chop, you know, just continue aggressively to the downside. I would label this as a corrective structure if you are going to take out this zone where you started this drop. Huh? If you take out this zone at 122.6k, high probability, guys, that this is going to move up. Yeah. If you take out these lower highs, it's going to be looking pretty damn good. I was expecting the price to range a little bit here. Then, you know, sometimes the price doesn't do what you want it to do. And if you want to take a long on a falling knife, you just need to take the chance. But yeah, we could probably jump in later on. If you take out these lower highs, it's going to be very, very likely that we're going to move up here. And as mentioned, you're going to trap all of those short positions. Right, all of those short positions getting trapped here at the moment. Insane bullish CVD divergence throughout all of the exchanges, guys. Insane bullish CVD divergence throughout all of the exchanges. People are shorting like crazy, like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah. A double 1-2 here is going to be looking interesting. Holy smokes. We might hit all-time high today, guys, if people continue shorting like this. My God. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. And I only do Dutch ovens. Sorry, Rocky. Hey, Andy, your analysis is gold, as always. Yanis, thank you very much, my man. Much love to you. Va a caer como en piano de un quinto piso, says 𝗖𝗍𝗿𝗍. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. Still rolling over, you know. Andy recomienda altcoins. Villa Diversión. Got some Spanish dudes here. Maybe, I'm not sure, from Spain or from South America, maybe Central America. We've got some Spanish people on the live stream also today. Much love. Joseph Herrera, can you check Chainlink? I love Chainlink. I want to check the total 3 and the total 1, guys, because we are in Q4. We are expecting the rally to continue. And what is interesting, Chainlink. Okay, let's take a look at Chainlink. Let's take a look at Chainlink here for the community. I love Chainlink. I do have a lot of Chainlink. This is my biggest bag that I have on altcoins. And I do expect Chainlink to break above $30, guys, in the next, give or take, maybe, you know, weeks or a couple of months. So, yeah, it's looking very bullish. This looks very corrective. We are expecting Chainlink to break out here from this wedgie structure in a multiple 1-2 setup. Okay. I am expecting Chainlink to hit $30. Very, very corrective structure. Very good. Very likely that this is the low at $16. High probability that you're taking up this high at $27, $27.5. And highly likely that you're not going to take up this low at $15. Okay, so manage accordingly the risk here. Okay, manage accordingly, and yeah, basically just be cautious. Holy smoke, guys! The price of Bitcoin is moving up. Oof. That's a pretty aggressive bounce, I have to say. Pretty aggressive bounce. It got up, guys. I wanted a consolidation, but it seemed like that bears are maybe going to get wrecked. I mean, if they don't not get out or protect position. Let's see. Anyway, oh, I mean, yeah, it was silly. The amount of shorts entering here was silly, guys. Silly amount of shorts throughout all of the exchanges, guys. Everybody has gone short on this movement. We've got a good chance it's going to pump very aggressively here, guys. There is a good chance that we could be exploding up. Let's go through the comment section. Damn, that was a quick bounce at the point of control, guys. It is an aggressive long, but with this movement, there's a good chance that we're gonna probably form that bump and run, guys. In the end, bump and run is without a doubt a possibility here at this point. You know, the bears, what they want to do, you know, this is, I was expecting a little bit of more absorption here, but I guess all of the absorption has happened already in this zone. Bears are going to be looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Too many shorts here, more shorts on the movement down. What you're looking at here is a little 1, 2, 1 run, big fat reversal, short threat, bang, 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 bang. Bump and run. Looks like that's the scenario that we are probably going to look at here in the next few hours. I mean, maybe they're just by taking out the highs. Let's see if there's any longs entering. Not too many longs, most short. Yeah, this is institution longs, guys. No retail long here. Well, I mean, at least I'm Bybit used on the tether. Bulls wanting to smoke the shorts. Muy interesante. Muy interesante. I mean, I have to say that was a quick reaction bounce. You needed to have, you needed to be relatively aggressive, right? With that long at the golden pocket of the previous day. Sweep of the highs. Anybody did take that long position. It's a good TP1 eventually highs. Looks quite interesting. Go through. Oh, the mic. Again, the mic, guys. What the heck? Just when I tap the mic, so slightly. Turns off. There we go. Mic problem. Your mic is trash. Fix it. I know, man. Sorry. Okay. It was an accident. I did hit the mic ever so slightly. Holy lol. 𝗬cie, much love, brother. Thank you very much. 𝗬cie, now fine. Yes. Thank you very much, guys, for letting me know in the comment section. So we are seeing the bears. Justin Trays, we don't understand you anymore. Andy Mike. Okay, thanks, Justin. Much love. Much love, Justin. For the Dutch and Belgian people, just BV family. Yeah, there we go. We got here Mark Dutch shilling some other channels, which is totally fine. He can do whatever he wants when he's in my channel, of course. Okay, let's go through SFP of yesterday's low. We are kind of a bit SFPing from the highs here of this little range. That was a nice little surprise pump, right? Let me know. I have to say, there was a bit of an aggressive long here at the previous day point of control. A bit aggressive. But, yeah, we did actually, bounced nicely here. It is a bit of an aggressive long. Muy agresivo. Muy agresivo when you're rolling over. quick touch, tap and go, pumped $1,500 in a matter of 5-10 minutes. A bit too aggressive, right? Nice bounce. Let's see if we do get correction here and chop out. Short's pretty much still in. I like the bullish case scenario. I like the bump and run, if I'm honest here, guys. It looks pretty damn cool, that's for sure. Holy smokes. What a pumperado, guys. What an awesome pump. Let's take a look at ICP. Is that trading at $10 yet or not? Hopefully it is. Is ICP trading at $10? We're in a bull market, guys. This has been just a little flush. Holy smokes. ICP still at $4.50. Spring point. Let's see if it does behave in the next coming weeks, guys. I am betting my ass on this one. Hopefully it is gonna do the job. Let's wait and see. Altcoin season, legends. Are we gonna get rich already, or are we gonna still be broke for till the next cycle? Let me know what you think. We're gonna have to trade our way, guys, into financial freedom, because yeah, if Chainlink don't go to $30 plus, then we'll be broke for sure for a few more years, guys. It's okay. We're gonna have to trade ourselves into financial freedom. I missed my fill on ICP by 0.02 cents. My man, 𝗬cie𝗂𝗿. We're gonna have to. We're not out of the woods yet here. We're not out of the woods for ICP. I have to say, there is the chance of coming down and test the lows. There is the chance still. So we might get another chance. I'm already positioned. Maybe some of the legends are already positioned. And the idea here is to get a bit of more sign of strength, break the local downtrend on ICP, get above the valley area low and the point of control of this region. I mean, that's the idea. That would be the first initial sign of strength for ICP. For us to add aggressively, I need to add another 1-2% at least to this swing long. Okay, but I've got an epic entry down here. Maybe some of the legends did get a better entry after this double bottom. I mean, it's already up, what, about 10%? Yeah, it's up about 10% in the last week or so. If ICP manages to reclaim, break the bearish market structure that's been formed since July, which is lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. If we get back above in the next couple of weeks, the point of control of the range of the last 5 months, we're talking about since April here, and we break this structure, I'm going to add 2-3% on this long. I'm going to go max long on ICP. Obviously, I would expect some kind of a pullback and a consolidation. It might fly or it might pull back and then fly. I don't know. Let's see. But this is going to be the moment of sign of strength, reclaim, break of structure, max long, guys. This is going to be this. I let the people know in the VIP about this long position. I'm entering with 1%, give or take, of capital here. Still downtrending. It is risky. We're trying to catch the spring point of the Wyckoff accumulation. So, be cautious here, right? I am not a financial advisor. Be cautious here. This is still very much downtrending and we could still revisit the lows, right? Sweep up the over leveraged long positions, if there are any, and then take the movement up. And if we reclaim and break market structure, which is the last lower high, at about $5, 12 cents, that's the moment that we realize that the trend is shifting for ICP, right? At least in the short term. And that's when I will add heavily to the position safely, where it's just going to climb up here. The position is just going to climb up ever so slightly and be very defensive, right? But we still got a lot of work here to do. Still a lot of work to do. Still downtrending, bearish market structure. We just hoping that this is the spring point when we consider a 𝗖𝗿𝗆 accumulation, because we have been trading here for over 5 months. And you know what the idea of this trade, apart from using Elliott wave theory, is looking for that spring point here on you know, looking at an accumulation schematic. Well, we've been ranging for several months. You test the lows one more time to then inevitably get that massive recovery phase, right? I don't know, but this is the one that's gonna bring me financial freedom and get me out of broke. Okay, this is the one that hopefully gets me out of being broke. So let's see, guys, right? What you think to hold long BTC, long now, thanks. This was a very aggressive long. It was a very aggressive long, I have to say. I would have preferred a little bit of a consolidation. Sometimes you just need to take action, right? People move very emotionally with the price. Me, myself as well, guys. I'm like, oh, this is looking, you know, it's moving down. It would be nice to get proof of support. Sometimes you don't get that proof of support and the price just bounces. Everything on the order flow and the CVD divergence pointed out that there was too many damn shorts entering the market, guys. People are very interested in shorting Bitcoin. Very, very interested. And inevitably, that only creates a pile of liquidity to the upside. It is good, actually, that shorts are entering the market so we can go higher. Now it would be nice to get actually a little bit of a retracement. And I would say, you know, hopefully you form another higher low from this point. But I have to say, if you're going to give the bulls a chance, it's a multiple 1-2 setup here. Maybe another 1-2. You really want those pullbacks from the last higher low. This was a bit of a falling knife catch, guys. You know, it was not an easy long. Also, swing failure pattern from the local highs right now, currently at the moment. Sweep of the highs, swing failure pattern, now rejecting. But golden, you know, you always look for golden pocket zone in between 50% and the golden pocket. When you have a rally and you're correct, your best zone is always 50% to 7-8. Obviously, lots of people are looking at this as a bear flag. So you inevitably you're going to see lots of shorts entering. If you get this momentum down here and you continue forming bullish CVD divergence, I mean, there has been quite lots of longs entering on this movement here. So, but yeah, if we do get new lower lows on CVD from this pivot, and you know, you still form higher lows, more absorption. I mean, the target, yeah, this is the thing. The target has been hit of the CVD, okay? Target of the bullish CVD, the first main target has been hit, which has been this high over here. Okay, so yeah, just so you take it into consideration, when you form bullish CVD divergence here, your target is the local highs, right? We're just looking at the CVD from this zone, which have been hit very, very fast. I mean, we did pump 1,500 in about 5 minutes, which was again, the mic, guys, what the hell? Mic is good. It's the it's the music, right? Music. Anyway, much love to everybody, guys. Thanks for smashing up the like button. You're an absolute legend. We got over 500 people watching the stream here, actually sticking around, you know, enjoying the content, looking at the fight between bears and bulls, you know, understanding that there's too many shorts entering in the market here, which is, you know, the market makers are not going to give it, they're not going to give it easy for the retail short traders. Bump and run looks interesting, that's for sure. quick aggressive short at the SFP here, guys. The bears do still have a chance as long as you do not overlap this pivot, right? That doesn't mean you go straight up, but that means that if you hit this pivot low without taking out this low, high chance you're going to take out all-time high in the near future. Okay, so this is the sweet spot to realize all-time high is coming, guys, right? So you need to pay attention to what's happening locally on the price action. Let's go through comment section and say hello to the beautiful community. It looks like people don't want to. Yeah, I forgot to say, 𝗬𝗫𝗃, I got a warning and my video got down. Este video se ha retirado porque infringía los términos del servicio de YouTube. That means that, yeah, I basically violated some terms and conditions here from YouTube, and it all had to do with the you know, basically people hitting the like button because, you know, things can happen, and the video got down. I got my first warning and my first video taken down, guys, in 5 years from YouTube. So we need to behave. Not financial advisor, guys. Nothing that I say here is financial advice. And I'm just a random dude that's just, you know, looking at possible scenarios and probabilities, right? So anyway, thanks for smashing up the like button, guys. If you getting cooked now, you are retail, baby, says Hopium. Lots of retail shorts entering the market in this range, that's for sure. So it's just creating fuel, right? We are comedian lol. Everything you say. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway, we got a super chat right now. Let's go through the super chat. I am long on ENA from 0.55. I am long on ICP. And my liquidation is 0.41. Can I wait for $1 TP in upcoming weeks? Let's take a look at that. Of course, I'm just going to give you my opinion. I want to talk about the total 3, guys, which I do believe total 1 and total 3. They are all pointing out to a contracting diagonal, which we are in the last wave, guys, from a possible brutal bear market that could happen here for crypto. Literally a 5-wave move up on total market cap from the beginning stages eventually, before 2014, right? Big rally, hype up, first major cycle in crypto really was the one from 2015 to 2016, 17, right? Before that, 2012, 2011, you literally only had Bitcoin, and, you know, this has been the major first rally of crypto. Not Bitcoin, of course, but yes, crypto, right? Then you got this, you know, correction bear market. Next wave. And, you know, it does look like that we are at the last little hyped up stage to then enter, you know, a recession, guys, right? This is like almost predicting a recession, because this bear market it does look like it would be connected with 2026 or 2027, something bad happening, guys, like worldwide, you know, banks crumbling or whatever. Anything can happen eventually, but it doesn't look pretty. This is overextended already. Anyway, let's take a look at ENA. Let's not get distracted here. Looks like we're in the last wave, though, on the total crypto market cap, total 2, total 3. They all look the same. Big wet rally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like we're just finishing off. You know, we might get a couple of $1 trillion entering here on a hype, you know, uncertainty moment, to then only just crumble up. Retail or not in, we haven't seen the trillions enter the market. We kind of need that bubble to get to the last stages, right? I do not know. 2, 3, maybe 4 trillion enters the crypto space in the next, you know, few months, just to create that blow off top hype moment. You need to end a bull market in a massive rally, guys, right? You need that hyped up rally. This is BS, right? This climbing up here is BS. We need that spike to then dump later on. We need something. Retail not in, so you want to get retail in because you want to sell to retail, right? And you can see that on Google Trends. Search crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins. We did get a little rally, I have to say, in August. A little one. It didn't get above the previous high. It's been a quick pump and dump. So this time it's institutional. It's a different rally. Anyway, somebody here talking about 𝗖𝗍. His liquidation is at 40 cents. Let's take a look at that right away. 40 cents. 40 cents here, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Can we get to $1? You are very ambitious. You have a lot of hope. 𝗖𝗍. This structure yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. Let's take a look here at 𝗖𝗍 from the lows. Yeah, I have to say this rally does look pretty promising. It does look pretty damn impulsive. You got the first little wave at the bottom. Man, this mouse, I'm gonna throw this mouse in the bin as soon as I finish this stream. And it's supposedly it's one of those one of these Apple mouses, but I hate it. It works so bad on Tradingview here to do the drawing. You got the nice first little rallies, and then pretty continuation explosive move here, which eventually you're looking for your big wave 3, your 4th and your 5th wave, taking out the highs again. Or even though if this is your 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, just because this is the longest consolidation, we can label it as a wave 4. You can also have a ABC flat, and this zone where we are at the moment does look pretty promising for the price to hold. But, and this is a big but, let's go on Coinbase. The problem is, if we were to lose, I would go easy on this. I would go easy. We're probably just holding. We're actually below that point of control here. Local double bottom at the moment. Let's take a... Man, this mouse is... I'm going to throw this mouse in the bin, guys, as soon as I'm done. I'm getting another one. I've had it with this Apple mouse. 50% it wants to hold here. I mean, it really depends on what Bitcoin does. We are trying to hold 50%. Yeah, local double bottoms are good. Manage risk. I would really just... This thing about having liquidation down here, I'm going to be safe. Be cautious. I mean, if we were to lose this area, 50%, then I would be looking at golden pocket. Yeah, you have a higher low here for an SFP, but trade level by level. I wouldn't just randomly, long and say my liquidation is down here. Do we have... This does look impulsive. It does look like an impulsive rally, and for the moment, not enough information here, but it can be an ABC flat for sure. It is, it is chopping, it is corrective. If you are looking for a wave 2 in this zone, I mean, 50% to the golden pocket zone is your most common area to bounce. But golden pocket's already getting close to your liquidation, so I would go level to level. Look for double bottom, have tighter invalidations. If you form a double bottom, look for a re-entry. If you move down here, don't re-enter. Just look for an SFP from this low. If you don't swing failure pattern from this low, I would literally, look for the golden pocket. That would be the next zone of interest. I don't get the point here of, let's see if it reverses, right? And you know, will it catch my liquidation, right? You're asking to get wrecked, right? You're asking for the price to come down. You know, be a reactionary trader. Double bottom, have some levels, create some plans. I haven't got anything here. Get daily naked point of control levels, understand the structure, and you know, just really basically have some alerts to the different levels for the reaction. Anyway, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a drop after this double top situation. Let's go through the comment section and see what the rest of the people are saying here. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I need to go and see my dogs. Okay. Much love to everybody. Thank you very much for subscribing. Probably no Logitech available in Dubai. Just expensive brands with diamond inlay and gold plated. Yes, 𝗬cie. You got that damn right. Nico, much love to you. Logitech mouse is the way to go. Thank you very much, Nico. Good day, Crypto Princess. Much love. I missed out on meeting Crypto Princess here in Dubai. It was my fault. My fault. Much love to everybody. Thanks for smashing up the like button, enjoying the analysis. I've checked out Bitcoin. I've checked out Ethereum. Okay, throughout the first hour of the stream, the different scenarios, possibilities that could happen. Much love to everybody. Remember, if you are interested in trading, okay, just by using an email and a password, and where there's hundreds of altcoins, you got Weeks, or you also have Bluffing, guys, with the best bonuses. Weeks has 20% cash back. You got the second or third link down below in the description, okay, for Bluffing or for Weeks. And if you sign up, do the minimum deposit, you do get access to the VIP community, okay? Much love to everyone. Trade safe. FUMC minutes today at 10 o'clock UAE time, which is in about 4 hours from now, 3.5 hours. Much love. Thank you for smashing the like button. Take care. Trade safe. And I'll see you in the next one.